Hello. So as you can see, we've just gone grocery shopping. Today is going to be you've probably already seen it by the title, but budget-friendly meal prep ideas that are healthy and high protein. If you don't have the basics nailed down, it can seem like you can't have it all, you know? But I'm telling you that you can. You can have it all. We've just gone to the shops and got myself some ingredients. So for all these recipes, I'm trying to give you some variety. Like depending on how much of a budget you are on, feel free to only make a few of these. Like if, for example, I have like 3 different sauces that I'm going to be making today. If you don't have like all the ingredients for all of them, then just only make one, you know? I am just giving you some variety just in case. Okay? Anyways, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so we're starting off with our carbs because that takes the longest to cook. I've got my pre-rinsed rice right here. So instead of just having boiling white rice, just cooked in water, I am actually going to be cooking it in some broth. So this is an optional step, depending, again, on your budget level. So broth is not that expensive. Usually it's on sale anyways. I've already actually kind of made my own. It just kind of enhances and deepens the flavor, making your budget meal a little bit more exciting. We're just gonna let that cook and get all nice and fluffy. So you don't need super fancy white rice either. I literally am using the cold long grain rice. This is the home brand, cheapest version, of rice that you can get. Changing up the way that you cook it, adding a little bit more flavor, can't even tell the difference. Honestly, between this and premium rice. Next up, we have our vermicelli rice noodles. This is just a nice little cheap carb option that if you are strapped for time, this right here is your best friend. All you need to do is literally pop them into a bowl and cover them with boiling water and then cover it with a lid. After about 2 minutes, you're gonna drain and rinse it with some cold water until the water runs clear and then pop it into your container and voila, there you go. That's it. One of my most favorite underrated things to have is frozen veggies because, and specifically one that has a lot of variety and includes vegetables that you actually like. For example, I always get the Chinese stir fry version because it's got little baby corn, it's got green beans, broccoli, carrots. For example, I'm not the biggest fan of like green peas. So if you don't like that, then don't get it, you know what I mean? It's only $5 something, all right, for this entire bag. So, yeah, if you are not partial to the frozen veggies, that's fine. You can get whatever veggie is in season right now. So zucchini right now was only $3.90 per kilo. So I got a bunch. I stored half of it in the fridge as you saw, and then I'm going to meal prep half of it right now. Cooked zucchini does not keep very well in the fridge. I will show you both versions. You could do both, you could do either or. Up to you. It's up to you.
Alright, so obviously you can choose either or. I'm just showing you for content's sake, just in case you're a frozen veggie kind of guy or gal, or a fresh veggie kind of guy or gal. To add a little boost of flavor, I am just going to air fry them really quickly. If you don't have an air fryer, obviously you can just oven bake them and roast them. So just with a little bit of olive oil and some seasoning, my go-to seasoning is always going to be paprika and mixed herbs and olive oil and a bit of salt. That is pretty much it, and you can never go wrong. So right now I'm just going to show you a couple of options that you can use as your veggies or sides. So we're going to start off with using carrots. Carrots are actually always, I feel, like a cheap veggie option. So I'm going to steam half a bag of carrots, as you saw, and then I'm going to julienne the other half. So I'm basically making a homemade coleslaw. You could for sure buy a bag of coleslaw if you're more budgeting your time rather than your finances. However, I just find that like making your own, number one, is a lot cheaper and a lot more fresh and tastier. So I am just going to julienne carrots and then cucumbers. We're going to toss that into a bowl. You can use whatever seasoning that you want. In my last video, I literally just used whole grain mustard and that was it. You can use sriracha mayo. I'm just using whatever I have on hand, which is a balsamic vinegar. So you just want something with maybe a little punch of acidity. You're going to mix that all together and then store it in an airtight container, and voila. Okay, so we made this carrot puree in one of my last videos. I think it was my last what I eat in video. So make sure to check that out. We've got the carrots, all right, as you saw. They're nice and soft. And so we are basically going to be recreating the same carrot puree. This is just such an easy way of getting in nutrients. It's a sauce on its own, actually. So the only difference is that we are actually going to be adding in some white beans. You even see the white beans. So this little can right here contains 9.2 grams of protein per serve, and there are 2 servings in here. So this whole entire thing contains almost 20 grams of protein. So we're going to add that whole thing in. So that's just a really, really easy way of increasing the protein intake and actually making it a little bit more creamy. So we're going to blend that all up. With budget-friendly recipes that you don't want to be boring, you want as much variety as possible. So that's why I feel personally like it's worth getting some kind of pickled something. These are pickled onions. You could do sauerkraut, you could do kimchi. One hack that I found is always using the juice. It's saturated with like all that tangy goodness. That's gonna basically add your acidity. We're just gonna finish blending that up. Okay, let's do the all-important taste test. Mmm. Mmm. This is the bowl that I basically used to mix up all the cucumber and carrot. So it's kind of got the residual seasoning. That is 2 cans of tuna, 185 grams each. So basically almost 400 grams of tuna goes into that bowl. We're gonna add in the rest of that caramelized onion from earlier. Then we're gonna add in this massaman curry paste. So basically this is actually only $2-3-ish. So we're just going to flavor that up with some of the massaman paste. This is definitely optional. You're gonna want like maybe like 2 tablespoons of that. Then you're gonna mix that all up. Excellent. Now you can leave that as is, or 1 egg into it. All it is gonna do is just like help bind it together a little bit. So now essentially we are going to just pan fry them. Okay, so we were only able to make 5 here, but you could definitely make them a little bit smaller and make 6 so that it's either you have 3 per serving or 2 per serving, depending on how much protein you're wanting out of this meal. Okay, let's get ready to assemble. We're gonna start off with a block of frozen rice and some of those roasted veggies. And then we're just gonna add some of the tuna patties on top. Just take the whole thing with you to work. And by the time you get to work, the rice will be defrosted. You just need to pop it in the microwave. It's good to go. Second option is going to be some of the rice noodles and more of the roasted veggies. This time we're adding some chicken. And then I'm just gonna add some of that miso dressing just so that the noodles can get some flavor. Option number 3, we're gonna go again with the rice noodles. This is a really good option for those who are time strapped and you just ain't got time to roast some veggies, you know? So I literally just pop my frozen veggies into the container just like that. Add your protein, add a little bit of sauce. By the time you get to work, the frozen veggies are going to be defrosted and you can just pop it in the microwave and they're good to go. You definitely need a little bit of sauce, otherwise the meal's gonna be a little bit boring. And now we're going on to meal number 4, which is, again, some of that rice. We're gonna add some of that puree that kind of acts like a sauce as well. Now I use these big cans of tuna because as you can see, one can has 16.6 grams with 2 servings per can. So in total, you're getting above 30 grams per meal. This is actually incredibly filling. So my go-to sauce, if you are seriously on a budget, this is probably the best investment, which is the Kewpie Sriracha Mayo. I put it on everything. I literally put it on my salads, I put it on my rice, I put it on my tuna, just like so. However, because I already have that dressing that we made earlier, I'm just gonna add that. Now I'm just gonna add some of that pickled onion because we need a little bit of tang, and I'm just gonna add some green veggies. And that's it. That is the most satisfying filling lunch. I was absolutely stuffed after this. Finally, we are done. We effectively made 2 sources of carbs, 3 sources of protein, 3 sauces, and 3 sides. I lost count and I had to make a coffee midway through. It has been a super dreary day today, so I'm sorry if the lighting was a little bit dark. But yeah, there was like literally no sun. Actually only 4:45 and it looks like it's nighttime. So yay, winter! Anyways, I really hope that these ideas have inspired you. Eating healthy can be done on a budget. So obviously you can cater this to whatever level of budget that you have. But yeah, cheers to you. Here's to health.